I'd like to start with a raise of hands. If either of the following statement applies to you, please raise your hand, okay? I am sure of the degree program that I want to take up in college, or I am sure of the career path that I want to pursue after I finish my studies. If either of the following statement applies to you, please raise your hand. That's quite a handful. I see about 8, 9 hands up. All right, thank you so much. You can put your hands down. If I were in your place, I would have raised my hand too. When I was about to graduate from high school, I was sure that I wanted to become a teacher. My English teacher at that time told me that I was good in writing, and she even appointed me to be the editor-in-chief of our school paper. And I remember that was the first time I ever had a sense of excelling at something. Like how my classmates were talented singers or dancers, or skilled in basketball or the arts. For me, it was writing. Writing, I decided, was my passion because I was told that I was good at it. And so I wanted to pay it forward by helping others find their passion too, through teaching. So in college, I took up a degree program that would lead me to becoming a teacher. And right after graduation, I immediately started teaching high school. Teaching became my passion too. I decided to call it that because it was my job. And I'd always convinced myself that professional success means making your passion your career. So that was my mindset. But it didn't work out. I only stayed for 1 school year. I failed. I recalibrated my thinking. Maybe teaching wasn't my passion after all. With that mindset, I wasn't a failure. So I thought of ways to keep on going. And when I thought that teaching may not have been my passion, I started corporate training. And then I tried acting in theater for a while. But neither lasted long. Fleeting passions, I called them. I was starting to get worried. You see, the mantra was, your work should be your passion. And every potential career that I took on in my mind had to equate to something that I was passionate about. And so I ended up jumping from one job to another, thinking of it as an all or nothing scenario. If you're not passionate about it, then what's the point? That thought was paralyzing. And it was daunting. I was supposed to be a teacher by profession, and I feared that I had cornered myself into a smaller field of opportunities because of my degree. A degree which I chose and I signed up for when I was 16 years old, when I was about your age, 17, 18, some of you here, because I thought that it would be my passion. I was fortunate. I lived with my parents, and I was fed and had my basic needs. And that's something I and other people should acknowledge. The privilege of being able to take your time to find and tie your passion, whatever it is, to your career. But not everyone has that privilege. And so with that privilege in mind, it would eventually fade because reality hit me. I was approaching quarter life. So I was nearing 25. Yeah. I was approaching quarter life. And at that point, I couldn't afford to be paralyzed. I couldn't afford to keep on looking for jobs and job hopping. And I started to think and I started to feel the pressure of having to earn for myself. This new pressure of aging and having adult responsibilities forced me to put on the sidelines this mission of mine to equate my passion with my career. And so when I started work in ABS-CBN News, I let go of that mission. And instead, I reshifted my focus to commitment. My new goal was commitment. And that was in 2012. And over the past 7 years, I've grown professionally. I've put on several hats. I've done field reporting. I've handled social media for ABS-CBN News. And currently, I'm the editor for entertainment, and I've been a writer as well. But what of my passion? Here's what I've learned and what I would tell to myself in 2006, when I was just about to graduate from high school. The first is, don't mistake interests for passion. Because passion is a loaded word that can dictate your priorities and your aspirations. It can motivate you to go certain ways, but if you're not sure about it, it can also motivate you to go the wrong ways. So with that in mind, you'd rather test the waters. Ease yourself into things. See and feel what brings you happiness if you dedicate your time to it. And if it's sustained over a long period, then maybe that's your passion. That said, yes, pursuing a career according to your passion is a worthwhile endeavor. After all, as the saying goes, choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. That's true, but that's not the only way to do it. There are so many configurations of pursuing your passion. For example, you can pursue your passion precisely because it isn't your job. That was the case for an entrepreneur who I once interviewed. His passion has always been acting on stage, and he wanted to make a career out of it. But the thing is, he struggled with finding a stable source of income in that field. So reality knocked and he had to shift his focus to earning. Earning first came. And eventually, through hard work, he founded a company which took off and now earns him more than enough. Through and through, acting remained his passion, his source of fulfillment and happiness. But now, because he was rich, he was earning, he could pursue it. He produced his own stage plays, he took part in some of them, and even won acting awards because of them. Our jobs, what we do for a living, may not directly be our passion or our happiness, but rather they can sustain us in order for us to do or afford the things that we do love. I would also tell my teenage self, you guys, you will grow and discover new things over the years of your life. You will keep on growing. And in that process, you might grow deeper in love with the things you're already passionate about. Some interests might evolve into passion, and you might outgrow some of them as you grow richer in experience and find new things that will feed your happiness more. And that's okay. The crossroads of your life may be daunting. The crossroads of your life can be scary, especially when you're young and you have to stick to one path that you'll have to stick to for a while and even pay for, aka college. But precisely because you're young, you will have room for mistakes. You will have room for mistakes. And that singular path is an illusion. Life isn't linear. Passions can waver, and you can change your mind. And that's okay. That said, you'll also have to acknowledge the fact that the opportunities of this world are finite. And so is your time to knock on each of them. Here's one thing you also have to remember. You'll know when your pursuit starts coming at the expense of practicality. Balance that. To those who raised their hands, I saw 9 a while ago at the beginning of this talk. You may have done so because that career path or that degree program aligns with your passion. You say you are certain, and that's great. Pursue it with all your heart and commit. But if, for example, 2 to 5 years from now, that no longer brings you happiness, acknowledge it. Weigh things. Your path may no longer be your passion, but it might be the practical option and just might give you the room to keep on doing what you love apart from your job. Professional success is whatever you define it to be. Your peers may say, I love my job and it is my source of fulfillment. That's success, yes, but your parameters shouldn't have to be the same. Success for you may be having a job that allows you to be fulfilled outside of it. Success is whatever you define it to be. You get to define your own success. And to those who didn't raise their hands, which was the majority of the room a while ago, it's okay to be uncertain. It's okay not to be sure. As you approach adulthood, you might feel like all the decisions that you're making right now will define the rest of your life. That's not the case. You can keep on overwriting decisions, but then again, balance and focus on practicality versus pursuing your passion. You're just getting started. Grow into your passion, is what I'd say to my 16-year-old self. Immerse yourself in the world and allow yourself to make mistakes, because that's part of it. The trial and error will yield great things, and it can lay out a multitude of potential passions. And once you've seen all of them, you'd know which one to commit to and how to go about that commitment.